Without education, we are in a horrible and deadly danger of taking educated people seriously. G.K. Chesterton. Recruitamentary. Empowering your employment. And now we continue our conversation on with Kaylee. Right, and you're kind of doing a pay once, learn forever type atmosphere and model, if you will. And that's really what I also believe in. Well, my background being officially marketing and design for consulting. If you do your project right the first time and you order your products, your business cards, your logos, the right person, the right time and place, what ends up happening is once in 5-10 years down the road that you need to reorder things, those original files are still there. You don't need to really go to somebody else and have it redone unless you want to do a complete rebranding, which is very similar to what people do sometimes in 5 or 10 years down the road in their career life, as well. As an interest, for people who are looking to network, what do you do specifically yourself or suggest others to do to actively network or build their presence?
I think it starts with goal setting and what's comfortable for the person. It really depends on where they're at in their networking skill set and capabilities. So if networking is something that terrifies you still, then start small. What's an easy place to network? Maybe it's even saying hello, how are you doing today to your barista, right? So I'm doing a series right now about baristas, but that's neither here nor there. I think the point of the message is that you can network everywhere and anywhere. The idea is to get into the mindset of relationship building. The idea is to get in the mindset of adding value and making someone's day no matter where you are at. So start small. Start with what you're already doing. Are you going out for wings on Wednesday nights? Are you going to the coffee shop every day at the same time and you see the same people? Are you going to the Little League games of your children and seeing the same parents? It's a matter of starting the conversation and saying hello, asking someone what they're working on, what's exciting them lately, what they're doing with their lives, and building a relationship based on commonalities. That's step one.
Okay, so if I'm in a coffee shop and I see a really attractive girl behind the counter, do I go up and I hit on her? Does that count as networking? Hi, you're hot. What's your name? What do you do? Does that count?
Probably not.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Why? Why is that? Why is that?
Because you're coming at it from your perspective versus theirs.
Oh.
So
but maybe they don't know that. Maybe she doesn't know that. I want to let her know.
Maybe it's something as simple as, I like the way you've done your hair today. I see you every day. What's your name?
Okay.
And so you're still kind of hitting on her, but in a way that's less about you and more about them.
Okay, I'm going to make some notes here. Hold on.
Take some notes. And that's where dating and networking are almost the exact same thing.
Right. I kid. I'm being facetious with it. But the thing is that people make it incredibly difficult. And I've found it in my own personal experience. One of the stories I just actually shared recently was I had networked with a couple of companies a couple of months ago looking for some marketing work. Contracts come up and one really sounded, pretty well, and they didn't release the company's name. Once I did talk to this particular staffing firm, I realized, okay, I did a little research and I was really appalled by the reviews that I was seeing with this company. They were dealing with Christian books and things of that nature, but they were just, the way that they were doing things professionally, the reviews were reflecting, and a lot of the authors were just really, really upset about it. And I just went, I can't work with a company that's going to be such a high conflict of interest like that. So I passed on it. Somebody who answered the phone was really nice and helpful. We started talking about, other work-related things. I connected with them on LinkedIn. The original person who reached out to me, I connected with them. The second person that reached out to me, I connected with them. And then I started realizing, okay, I have a small group of people that I've, 3, 4, 5 different people that I've connected with in this one company. And then other people started, on LinkedIn started to be recommendations for connections. One being somebody who was a focal point to connect with in my area, in the area. And I connected. I didn't know her. We talked, sent very few messages back and forth. And then last week there was an event that I went to, huge event. I walked around it twice, came back around a second time in a recessed area where there was a crowd of people. I didn't realize there was tables back there. And lo and behold, it's this one person who I didn't speak with. And I saw her from far away. I said, oh, that's got to be, Pearl was her name. I said, oh, that's got to be Pearl. And she turned around, she went, Michael? And I went, oh, wow. She did, so it was nice because it was one of those things where we got to know each other without knowing each other. And we did follow each other's work. We've been super busy where we haven't been able to keep in contact back and forth. But A, we knew who we were. B, we knew what we were about. And C, she remembered obviously the type of work that I was doing because we started talking immediately about marketing, and I had a referral of work right then and there. And it just makes that much more of an impacted experience because this is in person. Sometimes people find that to be a little bit difficult. You had that warm referral of having the ability of getting to know somebody on a platform like LinkedIn, and then being able to transfer that from, the digital platform to the real platform and have that same conversation in person, which is awesome. And then that connection will build from there, and then other people that I networked based on that event and that I met there. That's just really, really cool the way it works out like that.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible. I always say that the connection that is going to be the most powerful is the one you least expect. So you really never know if you're going to meet your soulmate tomorrow, right? To relate this back to dating again. You really never know if you're going to meet your career soulmate tomorrow either, right? So it's a matter of being open-minded to that aspect in the first place, putting yourself out there and really just saying hello. Start with hello. My name is so-and-so. How are you today? That's all you need to start a conversation, and now you're networking. I
agree. And it's the easiest thing to do. What I will say though, and I usually have other people share stories, but I was at one of those events. Oh man, this must have been the end of last year. A woman who had already pre-gamed before the event started. And it was a nice little like hole in the wall pub downtown. And she was basically holding herself up with the side of my body. That's how many drinks that she's had. And she was telling me she's not very good at networking. I'm like, well, you got a pretty good start going on here. This is not how you expect it, but hey, if you're going to, you go hard or go home, So I applaud her for her efforts. I don't know how she got back because she was like, yeah, I'm going to go home now. I'm like, are you sure? Like, do you want to call an Uber or something? Because I'm generally I don't know you and I can see that you're sloppy drunk, but I am generally concerned about you getting home safely. So it really just depends. Again, on the comfort level and the availability of people that are around you. I like to recommend, meetup events as well. Try to avoid the ones that are paying. I've gone to a few of those that are $15 or $20, and if it's not really something that you've been to, make sure that it's worthwhile because it may just be, wasted money. What really seems to be like the biggest struggle that you see with a lot of the candidates or people that you come across in terms of networking in general?
I think the biggest struggle is people don't know how to strike up a conversation that isn't, I need a job, because they can't get out of that mindset. So I think the biggest struggle is seeing it from the employer or the recruiter or the person on the other end of the phone, seeing it from their perspective. Because when you call somebody up and you only have your selfish interests in mind, it doesn't work. And people do the same thing over and over and over again and see zero results and can't seem to understand why that they've connected with 50,000 people on LinkedIn that none of them want to give them a job because they're surface level connections and they're transactional connections versus relationships. So the biggest struggle I think people have is getting beyond the surface and moving past that mindset of desperation to a mindset of I can add value. I am a valuable human being. I am enough as I am, and I can help others. And I'm genuinely interested in these people I'm connecting with. That has to be real. If it's not, networking is not going to work out very well for you because, again, it goes back to the transaction. So
you're basically telling me I can't just show up to somebody and just drop all of my professional career baggage on them and say, please help me find a job. It doesn't work like that. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what you're hearing, Michael.
Man. Have your own recruiter or candidate story that you'd like to share with us? If you're listening on YouTube, comment below. Otherwise, feel free to email your experience to ask@recruitamentary.com. You can find our full conversation of this episode on YouTube at youtube.com/recruitamentary. Thanks for checking out this episode and feel free to like, subscribe, and share the content. A Mike Tech Studios production.